Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to my monthly support call. This is Laurel Askew. I'm glad you're here. If you can hear me, the sound of my voice, could you please raise your hand so I know the technology is working? Looks like hands are raised. I don't know if it's for questions. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Laurel, hi.
Okay.
Can hear you. Yeah.
Yes.
I think we've raised our hands to ask, questions. Thanks.
I think that's what I figured. I was like, oh shoot. Welcome. I'm glad you all are here. I wasn't sure with a time change here in the US if that would mess people up. So we may have others joining us as we go along, and it may be us.
Yeah.
So either way, I'm very happy to have you all here. And full disclosure, I was doing some traveling yesterday and had a major delay at the airport and got home much later than I was anticipating. And so my sleep was interrupted and I'm a little fuzzy. But I'm glad to be here. So we'll just do what we do. And yeah, I was thinking about the election here in the US. I don't know how people that are here now have feelings about that. But instead of doing a group release, I might just see what you all have and we'll flow from there. So yeah, I think you all know the drill. This is a place to request support using the Sedona method. Also, if you have questions about it, you feel free to ask those questions. And then if you have any gains, always love to hear that. And you're welcome to, even if you're requesting support or have a question and you want to share gain as well, feel free to do that. I think we have time and space for that as well. And I think that's all I'm going to say. Let's just get things kicked off. I didn't see the order that you raised your hand, but I'm just going to go from the top to the bottom, and I hope that works for everybody. So we'll start off with Lorenz. How are you today?
Hello, Laurel. Hey.
Hi.
Hi. Well, as a small gain, I had a wonderful release last night on a feeling that I've been having for a long time, and it was really great. But today I woke. Today, all day I've been having a very intense feeling of rage and frustration. For no reason, no apparent reason, almost like the next layer of the thing. And I'd like some assistance with that.
Perfect. And I'm just curious, the gain that you shared from last night, was that from releasing on your own or with a partner?
Yeah, no, it was from releasing on my own. I had it was a feeling like I don't know, like, let's say tension. I was having real trouble releasing. And eventually I kind of surrendered to it by acknowledging that I didn't have the power to release it. And that was very liberating.
I love that.
And
That's beautiful.
yeah, and when the feeling suddenly let go, it was a great lightness and peace for the duration of the evening. Actually, it was very, very nice.
Lovely. Lovely. Thank you for sharing more
Yeah.
details about that. I think it's pretty amazing that can happen. So I love hearing about that. So so that rage and frustration, that's what's here now, apparently.
Yes. Yeah. That's what you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And when you notice that those feelings, is there any part of the body where they seem to emanate from?
Yeah. Now that you ask. It does seem to be a center, yeah.
Where is that?
The solar plexus.
Okay, great. So let's just start with noticing the solar plexus. And from just a place of curiosity, could you simply notice that sensation?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, yeah, noticing what it feels like. It's a pressure, throbbing, and maybe there's a heat there.
Pressure, yeah. Pressure density.
Yeah, so could you simply be curious, noticing that density, where these feelings appear to emanate from?
Yes.
Good. And then could you notice the space around that density? Notice any lightness.
Yeah, sure.
Good. And then could you notice the feelings that appear to be there? That feeling of rage, frustration. Could you allow it to be there as much as it is? Again, simply being
Mm.
curious.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm being curious.
Perfect. Yeah. And then could you recall the feeling you had last night when you had that release? That
Oof, to be
lightness.
honest, it seems incredibly distant.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
difficult to.
Yeah. Well, as best you can, just the memory or even the possibility of feeling that way again.
I remember there was a moist night air,
Oh, nice.
a cool, moist night.
Yeah. So could you welcome that coolness from that release?
Uh-huh.
Good. And then again, noticing any sense of density, of pressure, tension.
It's slightly lighter already.
Good. And then can you notice what's beyond that or on the other side of it? Openness, relaxation, ease. Or even a possibility of feeling that way.
Well, I can welcome the possibility that it could shift in any moment.
Perfect. And even that possibility that it's not I that made that release happen. This is something that will arise on its own when it does.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a mixed reaction to that. On the one hand, there's resistance, and on the other hand, it resonates.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you notice the resistance?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's the I that wants to be in control,
Want, yeah, to control, to fight it, or what?
or that I get to make change happen.
Yeah, I don't want to wait for some higher power, some like
Could you notice how
it's like
quickly you want
waiting.
this
It's
to
like waiting for
happen?
the bus, you know. Like I don't want that. I just want to get in the car and let's go.
Yeah, yeah. So could you notice that desire for urgency, wanting to control?
Yeah.
Yeah. And could you allow it to be here as much as it is?
Yeah.
And then could you allow for a relaxation of that surrender, releasing this desire
Okay,
as best, yeah, as best you can.
I can.
Yeah. And then noticing any sense of urgency, wanting change to happen quickly, wanting it to be different.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. And could you allow that to be here as much as it is?
Mm-hmm.
Good. And then could you allow there to be a relaxation, taking your foot off the gas and just surrendering into what is in this moment, regardless of what it looks like or how it appears. As best as you can.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, good. And then just one more time, noticing any other contraction here, whether it's a physical sensation, an unwanted feeling, or a desire for something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just, and can you just allow that resistance and contraction to be just as it is, just noticing it as it is.
Okay.
Perfect. And then could you just relax that, relax into that, just a surrendering, a softening, almost like you're like reclining. The sense that there's nothing that I need to do here.
Mm-hmm. A bit, yeah.
Okay. And then could you welcome this sense of trust and acceptance that you're not really the one deciding.
I couldn't be open to that.
Perfect. Yeah, and could you welcome that a little bit more? That maybe there's nothing I need to do. That this will actually do what needs to be done all on its own.
Yeah, there's still resistance to that.
Okay.
It's kind
Yeah, and could you notice that resistance? Could you allow it to be here as much as it is? Could you allow yourself to resist as much as you do?
Yes.
And then could you welcome what's on the other side of that? The acceptance, peace, ease, as best as you can.
Yeah, it feels yeah, it's pretty good actually.
Good. Perfect. And what's here now?
Yeah, I can open more to the idea that there's nothing I need to do, that it will be taken care of on its own.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, last night was such a testament to that. You know,
Yeah, it
the
was. It was.
beautiful. Was this a good stopping point for you?
Yes, very good. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye. All right, Sharon.
Hi. Hi, Laurel. How are you?
Good. It's good to have you here.
Yes, good to be here. Yeah, I've just been feeling a lot of rage just even before the call. Just lots going on in the family, and I felt like I'd released some control over the weekend, so I felt calmer. But my sister came round today, and she was just very angry. She has got a lot going on. Her son, my nephew, has been made homeless and was ripped off for a lot of money with a landlord. And they're staying between my sister's and a hotel. It's costing them a lot of money. There's a lot of stress. My younger nephew has got autism and ADHD, so that's the reason why they're back and forth with the hotel. It's just causing a lot of conflict between them all. We've tried to help out me and my mum by doing washing for them, but I just felt like today there was just a lack of gratitude for my sister for all that we've done helping. And I feel really angry. And I just feel like, I mean, I'm thinking about the elections in the US, and it just seems, I mean, Trump getting in, I mean, this is just my thoughts. I don't really follow politics, but for such a person to get in and be president again just feels really bizarre and unfair. And it just feels like that seems to be the theme at the moment for me.
Yeah.
It feels like what's happening, what happened with my nephew, with the house, they've got a new baby as well, has been really unfair. We've got a lot of issues with particularly one neighbour next door who was very verbally abusive with me a few weeks back and bordering on physically aggressive because of, you know, just totally uncalled for, and her behaviour is just continuing. And it just feels like, I just feel really angry because this is going on, and it feels like really unfair. And I know I'm going on a little bit, but just feeling like, you know, I feel like I treat people with respect, and my mum does, and we just feel like all this is going on, and we just seem to be getting all this backlash. So I just need to release around this, please, Laurel. Thank you.
Yes, yes. While you were sharing, what came up for me, and you know, we can do this, or if you want to do some approach it from a different angle, was kind of, you know, you mentioned there's a lot of different areas, you know, your sister, politics in general, the neighbors, like there's just a lot of different areas in your life.
Yeah, it's all mixed up. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I thought was, what do you think about doing the cleanup procedure, but just kind of, it's kind of you and, you know, against the world, against just life in general. Does that kind of resonate?
Yeah, it feels like the world is against me in some ways. It feels that, you know, I mean, these support calls are amazing. I love the Sedona method and, you know, the community that we've got. But it does feel at times thinking, you know, where's life for me in all of this? You know,
Yeah.
it just feels, yeah. So that would be really helpful, Laurel. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. So we'll, and are you okay if I use it from the kind of the advanced approach where we kind of bring in beingness and
that's great. That's even better. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Perfect. So when I refer to kind of who we're cleaning up with, do you want me to just say life or the world, or how do you want me to reference?
Life is fine.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. But before we do that, I know there's a lot circling around. You've been holding a lot for a long time.
Yeah.
So just taking a moment to pause. And to stop.
Yeah.
And to be here now.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. Right now, it's you and me. And that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So did life and Sharon try to control the apparent other? Or did it seem that way?
Yeah, it feels like I'm pushing life because I feel like it's not here for me. That feels emotional, yeah.
It's okay to be emotional. It's all right. So is what's arising now as you notice that is that welcomed here? Could you welcome that?
Yes, I can, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just keep breathing. Whatever's arising is what's apparently happening. Just simply notice that. Allow it to pass through. And could life and Sharon allow the wanting to control and the wanting to be controlled to be released?
Feel like there's a little bit of a stop there, if I'm honest, Laurel.
Please be honest. Yeah. So notice that resistance. And could you welcome that? Just allow it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can, yeah.
Yeah. No is okay. It's absolutely okay. Yeah. Hmm. And check to see, does beingness try to control anyone or anything?
No.
Yeah. Does beingness want to control or change or be controlled or changed?
No.
No. Is there any part of you, your sister, your neighbors, who's president? Is any part of that separate from beingness?
No.
Knowing that it's all beingness. It's all the rise and fall of life unfolding. From that awareness, is there a welcoming or allowing all to be as it is in this moment?
Yeah, there is slightly. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And notice that openness, that opening towards that. And could you welcome that? Really feel into that. Do you relax into that?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Even though this can appear very difficult, there is an awareness this is all part of the one life, all that is.
Yeah, there feels a bit of openness to that. Yeah.
Okay, good. We'll keep going, seeing what happens.
Okay, thanks.
So did life and Sharon dislike or disapprove of the apparent other?
I feel in some ways that life dislikes me, or I feel that why would I be going through all this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just noticing that thought. And could you just simply welcome that? Doesn't mean that you like it or feel good about it, but just allowing that thought to be here.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay. And could life and Sharon allow the wanting approval and the wanting disapproval to be released?
Again, I feel like there's a holding back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just notice that seems like we might be holding on a bit. Even if it's something unwanted or uncomfortable, sometimes those things we hold on to the most.
Yeah. I felt like my mind went a little bit of a blank when you asked me the release question then.
I kind of felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just noticing any wanting approval, any wanting to be accepted, liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what came up for me then was the blank was like, I don't know how to do this. And there was a bit of a panic in that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah. And I
And
know
then
that's,
also,
yeah.
and also notice that any wanting disapproval. So, this belief that, life, I don't fit into life. There isn't a place for me here. Yeah.
That was so spot on, to be honest, Laura. That's just how it feels like at times, yeah.
Yeah.
Of the
Yeah.
mind.
I hear that. I hear that. That's a really strong belief. It
Yeah.
gives you something to fight against, something to push against. Well, how else would it make sense? Life's against me. That's why this is all apparently happening.
Goodness, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Oh,
You're doing great.
thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And then check to see, does beingness want approval or disapproval?
No.
No. Yeah. Hmm. Does beingness dislike or disapprove?
No, not at all.
Does beingness like or approve of anything?
No.
Yeah.
It just loves all.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any part of Sharon that is separate from beingness?
No.
No. That only exists in the mind.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So check to see in this moment, is there love, loving all as itself?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Could you welcome that love?
Oh,
That love that you are?
yes, I can. Yes.
Thank you. And did life and Sharon challenge, oppose, or threaten the apparent other? Or did it appear that way?
Yes.
Hmm. Could you welcome that?
Yeah, what's coming up for me now is was like my sister's like anger and rage actually triggered like the anger and rage in me. It felt like it was like I felt like I was being threatened, and so it was like, I was like retaliating in some way, even though it didn't really say anything to her because I thought it'd only lead to an argument. But I just feel that I was doing that, energetically, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting to see.
Good. Good. Thank you for noticing that. And could you just welcome all of that, whatever is arising?
Yeah, can. There's also then fear comes up. It's like, yeah, there was like fear in her, you know, with her anger. It was like bringing up fear in me.
Yeah. And could
Yeah,
you allow that fear to be here? It's trying to protect you.
yeah, I can. And now there's a lot of shaking.
Yeah. And just noticing the body at how it responds as it does.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm. Good. And then could life and Sharon allow the wanting survival and the wanting to die to be released?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Wonderful. And does beingness want security, survival, or want to die?
Not at all, no.
Yeah. Is beingness challenged, opposed, or threatened? Hmm.
No, not at all.
Hmm. And check to see, is there well-being, safety, trust, and absolute security here in this moment right now?
Oh,
Right now.
yeah, yeah. I'm
Good.
open to that, yeah.
Beautiful. And did Sharon and life reject, cut off, or try and be separate from the apparent other?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that welcomed here? Is that allowed?
Yes, it is, yes.
Good. And could Sharon and life allow the wanting to be separate and the wanting to be one to be released?
Yes, I can, yes.
Good. And does beingness want to be separate or want to be one? Hmm.
No, it just is.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Does beingness reject, cut off, or try and be separate or one?
No.
Yeah. And then just check to see in this moment, is there only one? One life unfolding.
Yes, I can feel that more, Laurel. Thanks.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
Thanks for that. Yes, thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for doing that with me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Laura, for your ongoing support and creating
Oh,
safe, compassionate space. Thank you so much.
you're so welcome. I love sharing time with you.
All right, you too. Lots of
Okay.
love and blessings to you. All
You
right,
too.
thank you, Laura. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye. So before I go on, I just want to quickly share, we have something really cool happening in the newly certified coaches that we're working with Hale for the past 2 years. We're going to be sharing Invitation to Freedom, which is a 4-day a retreat, a virtual online retreat, where we're going to be covering each day will be a different topic. We're covering health, wealth, relationships, and happiness. And it is available now. If you look in the chat, I actually posted a link to the schedule, which is the first link. And then the second link is the if you want to go ahead and register for it, we have an early bird rate until November 21st of $149. And then it goes up to $249 after that. And it's December 5th through the 8th. And then I'll be leading on the last day is about relationships. And I'll be giving the final presentation, which is befriending the body. So it's all about connecting with the body as we release together. You can find out more information there. If you have questions, I also shared my email address. We are doing this on Circle, which is a community platform that's going to allow a lot of other ways for us to connect with these support calls and other events. And so we're kind of learning the ins and outs of that. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me and I'll be sharing more about it as we go forward. So I'd love to see some of you there. It's going to be, yeah, a really cool way. Well, Rachel says she doesn't see it. Maybe I posted these before you all joined. I'm gonna try again, and then we'll get back to sharing. Yeah, I'm really excited to do this, and it's a really nice way for all of you to work with other people. I'm sure many of you attend multiple support calls. But yeah, we're excited to offer this. So I resent all of this, so you all should be able to see it in the chat, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. All right, get back to it. I think this is Chris. It's like you're on an iPhone.
Yes. Can you hear
Hi.
me, Laurel?
I can.
Okay, great.
happening?
Thank you for the support call.
Yeah.
I'm struggling for a long time now, for many years, perhaps my whole life. I'm struggling with a story that keeps repeating in my mind all day long. It goes away, it comes back, it goes away, it comes back. The story goes back to childhood, to infancy, so it goes back very, very far. And in the story, it's very hard to describe. In the story, I lose. I don't get what it is that I need, and it's very, very painful. It's very, very deep, and it's very disturbing, and it's very sad. And so I'm working daily to release from this recurring story. And I was wondering if we could work with that.
Yep. Is there a belief that's attached to the story, like I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, I'm a failure? Like, is there any belief like that that reinforces the story?
There's a feeling, but it's not necessarily with words or thoughts. It's a feeling of just, it's very hard to describe. It's a feeling of destruction, of doom, of a feeling. It's a feeling of the end of the world. It doesn't really have, doesn't have a thought. It doesn't have words behind it. Yeah.
More like a bodily sensation?
It's
Bodily
very,
awareness?
very somatic. It's very corporal. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what we can do with this. Let's go ahead and do the triple welcoming around that to really allow you to really welcome the different aspects of this story. So first, let's get started with just noticing what's here now around this story, what awareness you may have around it, or what may have gotten stirred up just by sharing what you did. Just allowing yourself to focus on that for a moment. And then could you notice the feelings that arise around this story? And could you welcome those? Just noticing them.
There's a lot of sadness around the story.
Yeah. And as we do this, I do like to really connect with the body through releasing. Noticing if there's, with that sadness, if there's a part of the body where that appears to be connected. or when you notice contraction or sensation.
In the throat.
Okay.
It runs down the chest. In the morning, the sadness is in the stomach, is in my center.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
feel it every morning. Yeah.
Yeah. So as we do this together, I invite you to notice where those sensations arise. And you can, breathe into that space, even just directing your attention there, welcoming the sensation. And if it's helpful, you can also gently place a hand in these parts of your body. I always invite
Okay.
people to do that, to really, we get in the head, we have these thoughts, but what's happening in the body, to make that connection as well, and to really acknowledge those bodily responses. And sometimes, if it gets really strong, I also invite people to just give yourself an embrace, to actually hug yourself. So if you notice a lot of sadness arising and really feeling a desire to be comforted, I think that's a very tender way to acknowledge these feelings, especially if this is something that goes back to infancy, and this might even go back before this incarnation of your life. It just felt
This goes back to infancy, to conception, and for 4 years
yeah.
after. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So really, this is an opportunity to be really tender with that part of you. You might even have a recollection of infancy or early childhood, that, and to really connect with that part of your being.
Okay.
Yeah. So noticing any thoughts that may arise around any of this, with this story, or the memories connected to it. And could you notice those thoughts with tenderness? Could you acknowledge them with love?
Yes.
Good. Thank you. And noticing any other sensations in the body, any other responses to the story, anywhere that appears to be clenching or holding on. Just simply noticing the body's response, acknowledging whatever is arising. And could you also take a moment to notice the story has been told since the beginning of your time here in this human experience? Noticing any aspects of that story, any sense of meaning that you've made around it, any sense of wanting to understand it. Could you simply notice whatever's here arising around this story? And as best you can, just simply noticing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there.
Okay, thank you. And then also check to see if there's any judgment here around any of this. And if so,
don't.
could you simply notice that?
I don't think there's judgment, but there's strong, strong sadness.
Yeah. Let's be with that sadness. If you're not already, I do invite you to give yourself a squeeze. And could you really allow the sadness to be here?
Yes.
Yeah, this is painful. And then this part of you that is beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the story. The part of you that is everlasting, eternal, that will exist far beyond the story of Chris, who has been here before Chris. From this part of you, this eternal aspect of your being, I invite you to welcome and embrace the sadness from this place, from beingness, from source. I invite you to acknowledge this hurt of this pain of the human experience, from that which is beyond the human experience. And could you shine down this unconditional love, surrounding Chris in loving might, safety, protection. As freedom itself, can you welcome whatever feelings are arising in this moment, in this body mind? As best as you can.
Yes, it's a very strange feeling. It's a kind of hopelessness.
Yeah. Could you allow yourself to feel as hopeless as you do?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then could you welcome in peace, allowing all to be as it is, as best as you can?
I'm trying.
Yeah. Could you welcome the possibility of feeling peace, even just for a moment?
Yes.
Yeah. And then could you notice any part of you that feels hopeless? Any sense of despair?
Yes.
Just allowing that to be here as much as it is.
Yes.
And now, in your mind's eye, can you step through that despair? Just to see what's right there on the other side of it. If you could dive into that feeling. Just notice what's there right on the other side. And whatever you see, whatever you perceive or feel, did you notice that? Could you welcome whatever's there? And then could you go even further? Beyond that, just a little bit more. Just noticing what's right beyond that. Whatever you're feeling or sensing. You could just look right on the other side. Notice what's there.
Yes.
Yeah. And what is it?
It's difficult to describe.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's not pleasure,
Okay.
but it's something.
Okay. Yeah. Mm.
It's not safety, but it's something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And the story that you've carried all this time, who would you be without that?
Perhaps even less. I don't know. It's hard to know what could replace that story.
Yeah. If you got to choose, if you did get to decide what was there instead, what would want to be there?
Love.
Yeah. Okay. So in this moment, can you feel the love that I am extending towards you? Can you welcome that?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you feel that in your heart? Even if it's just a seed. Could you allow love to be planted within you?
I can try.
Yeah, as best as you can, just for now.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a string connecting my heart to yours. And that love is pouring out from me to you. I invite you
Yes.
to, perfect. Notice the love coming into your being. And it could be faint, it could be barely detectable.
No, it's there.
Okay, perfect.
But it has a lot to fill up.
That's okay. That's okay. In this moment, I invite you to put a pause on the mind. This isn't about the mind deciding how this is going to be. In this moment, could you allow the love to come in just as it is, without needing to define it or understand it? Just feel it. Could you allow that love pouring into your heart to fill up your beautiful heart? You might notice with each heartbeat, the light pulsing as that love is being pumped through the body at the perfect speed. It's not something you have to think about or do anything about. The heart is pumping on its own. So could you be open to the possibility of that love moving through the body, through the bloodstream. Again, without Chris needing to do anything, just simply allowing it to move through the body. And then maybe some spots that it moves easily and freely, and other areas that appear to be more blocked or heavy or dense. And there's no rush, there's no right way. But could you simply allow this love from one being to another to penetrate your body? And even though it appears that I'm here and you're there, there's really no separation. We're all part of the one beingness, the one life. There's no part of you separate from life, regardless of what stories we tell. So feeling that love that is life moving through your wonderful body. And anywhere that there's tightness, contraction, feelings of sorrow or grief, we invite that love to shine even brighter, circulating through you and your body mind. You are loved. You are love. So feeling that lightness move all through you, every cell of your body. The electrons lit up, further amplifying the love that is you. And taking as long as it takes. What are you noticing now, my friend?
Thank you, Laurel.
Yeah. I invite you to be really gentle with yourself. Really allowing the body to, whatever it asks for, wherever you can listen and provide for what it needs.
Yes,
You're beautiful.
thank you.
I appreciate you being here. It's good to meet you.
Thank you, Laurel.
You're welcome. I hope to see you again.
Yeah.
Bye. Well, Rachel.
Hello, beautiful Laurel. I've missed you.
I've missed you, honey.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here. How's
Me-
Colorado?
It's we have quite a bit of snow. It started last night and it's going until probably about another hour. So it's not much different than New England, but it definitely is less heavy. So I'm very happy about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Terrific. So
Yeah.
what can we do today? And
I'm
I'll go over a little bit since some of these support we gave a little bit extra time, so don't feel
Okay, thank
rushed.
you. Okay, I was gonna say I'm gonna try to be as concise as possible. What I would really love some support in releasing, I think this is what it is. I've been trying to gain clarity so I wasn't so all over the place, but there is this desire for the belief that I can have the life and the freedom that I want. There's a feeling of undeserving of it or unable to get it because maybe I'm not as fully integrated with myself, and I need to be better or different to receive that life. But I think that's kind of what it is this sort of feeling of unworthiness to receive from the universe what it is that is mine to have, to hold, to contribute, to produce, to create. And I feel like there is some sort of resistance around being able to receive that.
Right. Well, let's look at that. Oof, I just got really warm. Yeah. So again, kind of like Chris, it sounds like this is a story that maybe you've been telling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just notice how true this story feels. That I'm not worthy to receive. I don't deserve this. Not good enough. There's something about me that isn't quite right. Does that feel true for you?
Yes, unfortunately, very true.
It's okay. I think many of us feel like that way or have felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
So just notice how true this feels. Notice how attached you are to the story, even though it's not wanted. So stories, even though they appear true, they're actually beliefs. And they're the beliefs that we tell ourselves over and over and over again until they appear true.
Mm.
Yeah. So just notice how true that feels, how much you're attached to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel very attached to it, even though I don't want to be. Like as you were saying that, I was like, oh, it feels like it's like wrapped around me.
Yeah. Yeah. And just noticing that and if you look and see where does that story actually exist?
In my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you could actually stop telling this story, stop believing that it was true. Even just for a moment, could you let go of that story? Could you stop believing it?
Yes. And immediately I feel like my eyes are shut. I'm sitting with my legs crossed. And I immediately feel like I'm just floating in space. Like there's nothing below. I'm just, floating. Man, that's got me
Yeah.
scared.
So notice how this story has weighed you down.
Yeah.
So would you, if you could, stop believing this story?
Yes.
When?
Right now.
Yeah. And just notice if there's any more of that story that could just simply unwind, unravel, dissolve. Is it still here?
A very small portion of it, yes.
Okay. So any part that still feels real, still feels true, that I'm undeserving or unworthy or not good enough, or just something's just not quite right about Rachel. Whatever that contraction is, whatever that belief is, could you simply notice that?
Yes.
Yeah, allow it to be here as much as it is. And could you let that go too? As best you can, and just for now.
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
Right now.
Perfect. You just simply let it go without having to do anything. It's just a thought. Letting it float away. Maybe it's a bird flying in the sky. And just one more time, anything that's held you back, any thought or belief or story that said something is missing, something is wrong, something isn't quite right. Any of these that you've held on to because you thought they were true. You simply notice whatever that is, allowing it to be here as much as it appears to be here. And then could you let that go too? Just like the dandelion on this image here on the screen, just like blow it and it just flies away in the breeze effortlessly. It's just a thought, like a soap bubble that could be popped that easy. You simply just let that go.
Yes.
And would you?
Yes.
When?
Now.
Perfect. And then as best you can you just allow yourself to relax into the emptiness, the spaciousness, the freedom, the ease. And then whatever's there, whatever's on the other side of that thing that used to hold you back, or at least appear to, could you welcome what's beyond this old story that you used to have? The peace, the joy, the pure beingness of life. Simply living. Just this. The absence of any story. Simply unfolding with life itself.
Yes.
Perfect. And could you welcome that? Could you allow that to be here?
I can.
Just as it is. Good. And would you?
Yes.
When?
Now.
Yay.
As you were doing that, I literally felt my body become more spacious. Like I just felt like I was taking up more space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's any of these things are just simply contractions in the mind and the body. And as we release and relax, there's more of we're not holding back.
Yeah.
We're no longer contracting.
It gave me the sense too when you were talking about the dandelion and blowing it and the soap bubble. It's quite spectacular how restrictive or contracting these things are when they are so paper thin
Yeah.
that they're not real, but we make them real. And I think that helped me to like have that as well as we were doing this, because now I realize like, oh, it is just a story. And what is a story? It's not a shackle on your ankle. It's just something that are words in your head and you can let those go. So
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
yeah,
Pretty amazing.
it really is. I'm like, oh, it actually may be more simple than my complex brain wants to make it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's okay. That's, the brain, that's what it does. It complicates things.
Yeah.
But it's just doing what it does. So yay.
Thank
Well,
you.
very good. Thank you. And I meant to mention it earlier, but for you and everybody else who received support, looks like a lot of those folks are no longer here, but I am gonna post this on my YouTube page. And so
Oh,
anybody that wants to re-listen, It'll be there just under Laurel Askew. You can search for me.
Excellent.
And yeah, so glad you were here. And I see Catherine is here as well. So I always love having you both on the call. So thank you.
Mhm.
And for anyone that's still here, if
I'm
you
waving. Can you hear me?
want to unmute.
I was waving. Hi, I'm here
Yay.
too.
Yay. Well, thank you all for being here. I love everyone on this call. It just felt extra yummy. I forgot that I was sleepy once we started releasing together. So I receive as much as all of you do. So thank you for being here. And yeah, I hope to see some of you at Invitation to Freedom next month. It's gonna be
Thanks, Laurel.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Laurel. Thanks,
yeah, thank
everybody.
you
Thank
all.
you.
And yeah,
Yeah.
enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
You too. Bye for now.
Okay, take
Bye-bye.
care.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Laura. Bye.
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 Take care.
I will, you too.
I'm good. Rachel, will you coach me on this new contraption she's given me to grow into?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. All these damn
Bye.
and Kathy can be lost in technology land like nobody's business.
Aw.
Laurel, the other day I changed my whole phone into Chinese characters.
Oh gosh.
Wait, I couldn't, and I'm like, I couldn't even find the muscle memory, like to go, was the left button the off or the on?
Oh
Or
jeez.
I had to take a picture of it and send it to Daniel. Oh, I sent
Aw.
him a message only because I know his phone number and the numbers didn't change, right?
Oh
So I sent
wow.
him a text and it came in Chinese characters and he called me right away and he goes, "What the hell is that?" And I'm like, exactly the problem I'm having. And he's like, "How
Oh
did you do
my.
that?"
You're like, you should know the answer. Help me fix it.
I'm such a genius. I should have goes, you know better, go to Google Translate. My sister-in-law is Chinese. So I'm
Oh,
like, go to Google Translate. I'm like, okay, I know.
wow.
Why change your whole
Aw.
phone? You just thought you could put a new language on it, but I messed the whole thing up anyway. Anyway, Rachel will help me get this circle thing on here or whatever it's called.
Oh yes, I know. I know. We'll figure it out together.
Okay, good. I'll see
All
you.
right.
I love you.
Bye,
Thank you
friend.
so
I love.
much.
Thanks for being here. It's great to have you.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.